With resourcefulness, ingenuity, collective ideas, and strength, the Philippine Chamber of Commerce and Industry remains steadfast in its principles of business growth and development. Pioneering, innovating, and trailblazing. The Philippine Chamber of Commerce and Industry will remain as that, one voice of business in the country.
Good afternoon, everyone. We'll be starting shortly. Okay. Okay, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome. This is Perry Ferrer, PCCI's Vice President for Industry. I will be your host for this afternoon. Before we formally begin, we are kindly requesting everyone to take note of some house rules and guidelines, which is now shown on the screen. Okay, now that we have the house rules clarified, let us start with an opening prayer to be followed by the Philippine National Anthem.
Lord, thank you for this day, for the presence of everyone in this call. For once again, we are gathered and given the opportunity to appreciate life and your words. Forgive us for our shortcomings and cleanse our hearts as we learn and live your words and example. Father, bless our endeavors, especially today's meeting. May you guide us in our discussions, and may you enlighten our minds in every decision that we make. Give us your grace that we may effectively do our parts for your greater glory. All this we ask in Jesus' name. Amen.
Mga kababayan, ang pambansang awit ng Pilipinas. Kayang magiliw, tewas ng sinakanan, alam ng puso, sa titik mo'y buhay. Lupang hinirang, tuyag ka ng magiting, sa manlulupin, di ka pasisigil, sa nagagang tutok sa simoy at sa langit ng pagaw, ay hinatang tula, awit sa pagkayang minamahal. Ang isang ng matawad mo'y tagumpay na nag-iingin, ang bituin at araw niya kailan pamahal.
Once again, welcome everyone, and thank you for joining us today. Truly, today's webinar is quite interesting. We at PCCI and our partners from the Development Academy of the Philippines are looking forward to share this knowledge with you. So, without further ado, let us officially kick off the Project SPARTA Roadshow. Unfortunately, our PCCI President Mr. President George Barcelon will be unable to join us today due to personal reasons. However, he has asked me to deliver welcome message on his behalf. DAP President, Development Academy of the Philippines President, Attorney Engelbert Caronan, Dr. Alan Cajes, Vice President and SPARTA Project Lead, Development Academy of the Philippines, Mr. Sherwin Pelayo, Executive Director of Analytics Association of the Philippines, Ms. Jacqueline Sangalang, Instructional Design Lead of Course Bank. We have Mr. Nico Vesperas, Project Manager, DAP SPARTA Program. Fellow PCCI directors, industry leaders, members, media, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon to all. Let me just open my video. I cannot open my video because the host has stopped it. So let me see if I can open it. Hang on everyone. There you go. Thank you everyone. Let me first set the stage with some numbers for credibility. An average individual is estimated to generate at least 1.7 megabytes of data per second. Statistics show 61% growth per year in the amount of information we have, projected to reach 175 zettabytes by 2025. If that is something that is unimaginable, and that goes for me, or to you, PricewaterhouseCoopers paints us a picture. 175 zettabytes, it is roughly 17.5 billion hard drives, with each one possessing 1 terabyte capacity. In the age of technology and the Internet of Things, each click has translated into valuable data. One press is all it takes, and it turns into added algorithm, seamlessly curating what appears in your news feeds or timelines, or even your simple Google search suggestions. One small click for man, one giant leap for data. This explosion of data is rapidly changing both local and global business landscapes. There are now more innovative ways of doing business. With the emergence of practices such as sentiment analysis and targeted marketing, disrupting traditional business means More businesses are coming to the gradual realization that data is now more strategic asset rather than a mere secondary information. This signals the need for cultivating a culture of data driveness, enhanced and developed by a clear strategy on how to use data, investing in analytical tools, and upskilling the workforce in data analytics. The Philippine Chamber of Commerce and Industry, PCCI, in light of this, has signed a Memorandum of Understanding with the Development Academy of the Philippines, DAP, formally expressing its interest and support in the implementation of Smarter Philippines through data analytics, R&D, training, and adoption project, otherwise known as Project SPARTA. This project aims to establish the necessary tools and infrastructure to enable data science analytics, or DSA, and foster smart governance practices through knowledge democratization and activation and engagement. PCCI is proud of its role and involvement in this development, and we would like to thank and congratulate our partners in seeing this project through. To the Development Academy of the Philippines, thank you for extending your time, efforts, and expertise. It is one that will not go to waste as we manifest in pursuit of a data-driven Philippines that we believe is well within reach. Thank you and good afternoon again. Now, let's begin. For session one, the topic is why data science and analytics. We will have our speaker, Mr. Sherwin Pelayo, the Executive Director of Analytics Association of the Philippines. Session one, entitled Why Data Science and Analytics, will focus on understanding data science and analytics as its importance. For this session, we hope to be able to answer the question, how can we make use of data science and analytics and apply them in our own careers or in the business industries? Here with us today to answer our questions on DSA is Mr. Sherwin Pelayo of AAP. Let's give him a warm round of applause.
Thank you
Sherwin,
very much, sir. Sorry, go ahead, sir.
Yeah, Sherwin, let me just introduce you. Sherwin Pelayo is the Executive Director and the founding board member of AAP, or Analytics Association of the Philippines, which is the Philippines National Industry Board for Analytics and Artificial Intelligence. As the Executive Director, Sherwin implements the various nationwide programs of the AAP, which includes, among others, education, labor market intelligence and policy, legislation and standards, with the goal of building the analytics and AI ecosystem of the Philippines. Sherwin is also the Chief Analytics Officer of Eclaro, a global business technology consulting firm delivering top talent to clients across diverse industries. In this role, Sherwin is responsible for defining strategies to initiate and expand key digital transformation services, especially in the field of analytics. He has been involved in similar roles at Accenture, IBM, Teradata, and Sherwin is also a faculty of the University of Asia and Pacific's Master in Applied Business Analytics program. Sherwin, all yours.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ferrer, Perry. I think this is the day that we've really been waiting for after our discussion. I think a couple of weeks ago, on how Project Sparta and the Philippine Chamber of Commerce and Industry can really collaborate and bring the entire Philippines to this fourth industrial revolution through data, through analytics, through artificial intelligence. So maraming salamat po sa pag-imbita sa amin.
I think we have lost Sherwin there. Sherwin?
I'm sorry, everyone. My internet is really bad during this time. I hoping that you can still see my screen. So let me start before my connection again breaks. So I'd like to what Mr. Ferrer said. Really like to answer some questions about how we can use data analytics in building our careers and building our businesses. Okay, so whenever I do a presentation about analytics, I always kind of start with this story. And this is actually a true to life story of one farmer and his yellow corn farm. So this is the story of Mang Isko. He's been a farmer all his life, but he's also a very meticulous farmer because he really wants to make sure that the farm that has been with his family for generations is supporting his entire family. So meticulous as he is on a daily basis, Mang Isko records everything that happens on his farm. Whenever he goes out and plants and waters and fertilizes his yellow corn, he takes note of what seeds he planted, the amount, the type of fertilizer he used, the amount of water he used for watering his corn, even the distance between the corn stalks and even the height of the corn stalks, based on his
Sherwin, I think we lost you there again. Well, let's wait until Sherwin comes back. Maybe Sherwin, we should forego the video. Maybe just your presentation, if you don't mind. Oh, we have Sherwin logging in. Okay.
Sorry, let me just turn off my video.
Yes,
I think that
it's
should save
probably
us some
better without the video.
bandwidth. I'm sorry about that. So yeah, so every day, so I guess I'm that story, that every day Mang Iskot looks after that. At the end of the harvest season, Mang Isko looks into the amount of yellow corn farm that he harvests, and he keeps track of all that. And for this particular year, he was very keen on, he was kind of surprised that the yield of his yellow corn farm was not as high as he expected. Okay, so being a meticulous farmer, again, he was very curious as to find out the reason why. Since he has been keeping track of all of the things that he does with his farm, he noted that there are certain periods in the year that when he starts planting during that time, it yields the highest amount of corn farm, depending on the type of fertilizer, the amount of fertilizer, even the distance between seedlings when he plants those seedlings. He saw that in his logbook, okay, that those things matter. So Now knowing basically what happened on why the yield of his farm was lower compared to the previous seasons, he wanted to change that because, of course, what he wanted to do was to have a consistent amount of yellow corn yield, or even probably surpass the previous harvest of the previous season. So what he did was he looked into what's the best combination of fertilizer, amount of water, the distance between seedlings, and even when he's actually planting. Because of the changes that he made from all of the records that he gathered every day that he went out to his farm, he really did make progress, making sure that his yield is consistent all throughout the years. It didn't stop Mang Isko to actually record still more data, because of course he still wants to make some improvements, and so the cycle continues of gathering information, finding out what happened, finding out the root causes on why certain yields are lower than the previous season, making changes to his habits in farming. So that's something that we've done, as I mentioned, this is something that we've done in real life, actually in Isabela, for some of our farmers there who's actually planting
Sherwin, we lost you there. Okay, let's see if we can get Sherwin back.
So all of these actually that cycle that we
Sherwin,
saw, that's what we
Sherwin,
call actually.
we lost you there
Yes,
for 2 minutes. So
I'm sorry.
we lost you there for 2 minutes. You got cut off. So you might want to
Okay.
that in this slide. So,
Okay. So yeah, so basically I think I was saying that this is something that we really did in real life with farmers in Isabela. Just wanted to help our farmers ensure that their yields are consistent across harvest seasons, or if not better, with all of the information that we gathered on their practices in farming. The cycle that you saw, that's what we actually call the data life cycle and the value chain. It always starts with data. That's the creation and generation of data from its source, what we call the burst of data. Mr. Fair mentioned, the amounts of data that we produce every second. That's the initial stage of the data life cycle. As we progress with this cycle, the value of data increases through this transformation. When data is gathered, consolidated into a single repository, this is the time where data transforms into information, where we are now able to answer the question, what happened? It's kind of a status report, right? You did something in the current day, you gather all of the data at the end of the day. Now you can answer the question, okay, so how much sales did I make? How much corn did I actually harvest for this particular season?
Sherwin, we lost you there again. Sherwin. Let me see if we can get Sherwin back. I think he really has a bad connection.
Yeah, guys, sorry. I really have a very bad connection. Can we proceed with, I think, Sparta first, and let me try and fix my presentation and the bandwidth. Sorry for that.
Okay. If you can find a better spot, Sherwin, you can go
Yeah, yeah.
to the second half. So I'll request before we go to the second, the Project Sparta and its learning pathways. Let's see a short video of Project Sparta, PCCI, and DAP, the Y2 accomplishments.
The advancements in science and technology in the era of the Fourth Industrial Revolution continue to produce innovative and groundbreaking creations that improve the efficiency and quality of human life. However, these advancements also pose significant problems, especially in the day-to-day operations of human society. These rapid technological developments lead to the unprecedented volume of data in everyday life. As more people continue to make use of these digital innovations, generated data continues to exponentially increase. In the business industry, there is a growing demand for the proper management of large volumes of data. Businesses are confronted with the huge task of utilizing this new oil to improve their operational efficiency and productivity, while maintaining a workforce that is capable of meeting the demands of the current situation. Specific and unique challenges faced by different industries also compound these existing concerns. For instance, the agricultural sector needs to optimize its farming mechanisms to combat the threat of climate change and other environmental disasters. And so, the DAP and PCCI team up with the Department of Science and Technology, Analytics Association of the Philippines, and Course Bank to steer the country towards economic growth by providing relevant interventions to help the business industry through Project Sparta or Smarter Philippines through data analytics, research and development, training, and adoption. SPARTA aims to foster a data-driven analytics ecosystem through the upskilling and reskilling of the Filipino workforce and promotion of smart governance practices. SPARTA's DSA scholarship program seeks to address the issue of a competent workforce in the age of digital revolution. Through the project's 30 massive open online courses, SPARTA aims to democratize DSA to level up the knowledge and skills of the modern Filipino to equip them with the right tools to navigate this terrain of new possibilities. At the same time, the project's activation and engagement will provide an avenue for the sharing of open datasets between organizations and incubation of meaningful research and development or R&D initiatives. These will help the business industry scale up by adopting new measures to innovate their products and services, leading to an improved service delivery that can help them reduce their cost and increase their productivity, revenue, and customer base. And so, with the adoption of DSA through Project SPARTA, the business industry is more ready to tackle the challenges of the contemporary world. A data-driven future is on the horizon through the application of data science and analytics into the agriculture, automotive, cement, chemicals, construction, electronics, food, mining, plastics, retailers, and steel industries. And as the partnership continues to grow, a relevant analytics competencies framework can be developed to help businesses thrive and maximize their growth with the help of analytics. From these, we can say that the path towards a data-driven and digital future is really bright. We can say that the journey towards a smart Philippines is well underway as we continue to innovate, create, and collaborate.
Thank you for that video. Now let's go back. There will be a chance for Q&A, especially on the different tracks that the Sparta Scholarship Program is offering. But let's go back to Sherwin. I believe Sherwin is back on now. Go ahead, Sherwin.
Thank you. I'm really sorry. This is the first time that I'm losing my connections multiple times. I've sent the deck, and I think that the video is actually a very good summary already of what I'd like to present. And I believe Aliana is going to help me with the presentation. Thank you, Aliana. I think let's proceed to the next pages. We're here at the data life cycle and value chain. I think I was cut off, at that part of the information answering the question, what happened? This is where Mang Isko was actually curious on the reason why his yield for a particular season is very low. Moving now on to insights. This is where Mang Isko look at all of the information that he was able to gather and found out the reasons why his yield was low for that particular year. This is where he found out that there are certain combinations of fertilizer, amount of water, distance of planting the seeds that would really increase his harvest. That is where he gets those insights. And the last, of course, he didn't stop there. He wants to create actions. That's why we move from insights to imperatives or actionable insights. This is where we now answer the question, what should be done next? Okay, so of course we need to create some actions from the things that we found out are wrong with the things that we are doing. This transformation is actually analytics. Okay, so next slide, please. That transformation of data to information, to insights, to imperatives, that transformation happens because of analytics. And this is a definition that we'd like to offer as far as analytics is concerned. We say that analytics progresses data along its value chain. And by value chain, we say that the transformation of data to information, to insights, to imperatives, with the purpose of delivering the right decision support to the right people and digital processes at the right time for the greater good. The second point here that I'd like to make, the second thing that's highlighted here, it's the right decision support. We're not saying that analytics will make the right decision. It will really just support us humans in making the right decision. The decision is still up to us. What analytics provide is the information to support us in making the right decision. That's a critical part of the definition, that analytics is a decision support system. Okay, analytics will not totally replace us. Okay, the final decision is still with us. Okay, this support is given both to the right people and digital processes. Okay, because there are, of course, with the fourth industrial revolution, machines are now also in need of data so that they can make some their choices. For example, you now have the automated cars, automated refrigerators, right? Those automated vehicles, appliances, of course, they will need some data as well. They would know if you're going to hit something on the road. That's why it can now turn left or turn right. Okay, so that's the decision support that analytics can provide digital processes. Okay, it is important that this support is given to us at the right time. Okay, if the thing happened already, we might not be able to do something about that, especially if you are, for example, if you're in stocks, if you're a day trader. Okay, you need to find out if stock prices are actually falling down, so that you can actually sell your stocks, right? So you need to be informed at the right time. What we also really emphasize in our definition is that we need to do this for the greater good. There's a lot of things that we can do with data. Data has been called so many things. It's a natural resource. It's very valuable, and it's very easy to misinterpret, misuse data. Okay, I mean, we're experiencing it now. There's the proliferation of fake news everywhere in social media, especially in social media. So we really need to look into how we can use data, use analytics for the greater good. Next slide, please. Just going back at the cycle, these are some of the things that you might have heard already, but you may not know that it's part of analytics. In the data portion, there's always the data security, data privacy, data ethics. Okay, that's important, especially in that emphasis of using data for the greater good. When we move into information, that's when we encounter terms such as data engineering, data warehousing. That's a big database where you consolidate all of the information. Descriptive analytics, because this is where we answer the question, what happened? We want to describe what happened in the past. That's why we do here descriptive analytics. When we do insights, this is where we encounter the terms such as data science, machine learning, teaching machines to think like humans. But again, the decision is still with us, right? We just kind of train machines on giving us some decision support. This is where we also do diagnostic analytics. We want to know why things happened. This is where we do predictive analytics because we want to answer the question, what could happen next? Okay. And lastly, in imperatives, this is where you encounter terms such as recommendation engines, which everyone has encountered. If you're in social media, if you do online shopping, you'll be really surprised. One time I'm just searching this particular product, why does it now appear on my Facebook feed? That's recommendation engines working for social media. Okay, so they analyze all of the data that's gathered in your computer, your browsing history, and suddenly they'll be recommending products that are near to what you've searched. That's recommendation engines. This is where you also encounter optimization, simulation. And since you want to answer the question, what should we do next? Okay, this is where we encounter or where we do prescriptive analytics. So that's the data life cycle. Next slide, please. Each of these stages in the data lifecycle is actually performed by various analytics job families or analytics job roles. So you might be familiar already with data scientists, but in analytics, it's really beyond data science. Okay, we have data stewards, data engineers. Of course, you have the data scientists, the functional analysts, and the analytics manager. Later on, you'll see that this correspond to the pathways of Project Sparta. Next slide, please. Since we want to build careers, okay, probably some of us medyo natatakot na when we hear data science. Baka kailangan ko ng math and stat dyan. Kailangan ko talagang maging programmer. Okay, if I want to build a career in analytics. It's actually not the case because each of the roles in analytics that are they are all equally important, okay, when we want to deliver end-to-end analytics projects. And as you can see here, especially in the field row, depending on your role, that's the expertise that's going to be expected from you. And as you can see, the data scientist is the role that would need really very extensive experience and knowledge in math and stat. Programming is more for the data engineers, the information technology, information science, or computer science. But even if you are not actually good in math and stat, you hate math, you hate stat, okay, you're not a programmer. A data steward, a functional analyst is something that you can consider, building a career on in analytics, because the need for data stewards and functional analysts are really deep domain knowledge, business and industry. Leave it to the data scientists for the math and stat requirements of analytics. Leave it to the data engineers to bring all of your data into your databases. As a data steward, you safeguard the data, you enforce data privacy policies, you make sure that your team is going to use data for good and for ethical reasons. Be a functional analyst, especially if you're very you have deep industry knowledge, domain knowledge. You understand the business very well. You understand the industry very well. Your job is really to translate the insights that data scientists will generate into something that the business will understand. So communication skills is very important with functional analysts. By communication, in analytics, we also say, you need to be very good in data visualization, in data storytelling, because that's how you are going to communicate the insights from your data scientists to the business. Lastly, the analytics manager. Analytics projects are like any other projects. You need to manage it so that all of the teams, all of the members are performing as expected. All deliverables are created and submitted on time and on budget. Okay, so these are the career paths in analytics. Again, the emphasis here is that everyone has a place in analytics. You just need to find where your strengths are. You do not need to force yourself to be a data scientist, because especially if you're not really keen on math or stat, you don't need to force yourself to be a data engineer, because you might not really be good in programming. If you are very good in business though, then be a functional analyst. Okay, so again, the key message: everyone has a role to play in the successful delivery of an end-to-end analytics project. So that's about building careers. Next slide, let's talk about building businesses. So we're in the fourth industrial revolution. Everyone has really felt, that the impacts of the pandemic, and everyone was in a rush into really adopting digital technologies. But what's important here, and this is a study done by PricewaterhouseCoopers, um, Industry 4.0, at the center of it is really about digitalization and integration of all of the vertical and horizontal value chains. When you say vertical, these are the things that you do within your companies. So IT, logistics, supply, anything that you do, again, in your company, in your verticals. The horizontal value chain is when you start working or collaborating with partners that will help you in your business, that will probably complete your supply chain. If you are in need of certain products in order for you to develop your own products, then that's the horizontal value chain. Okay, so it's important that you digitize yourself and then integrate yourself with other companies. This is true, for example, on digital payments. Most business, of course, I mean, one of our goals as a business would be revenue. We want us to get paid. The traditional way is paying us in cash or check through banks. Okay, when we want to integrate in the horizontal value chain, we look at payment systems already. The fintechs out there. So they have digital payments already. We want ourselves to be digital. We want to integrate our business with those digital payment schemes, and that's about integrating the horizontal value chain. As I mentioned, part of Industry 4.0 is the digitization also of products and service offerings. The way that we manufacture things, the way that we create things, build things as part of our business, we want that to be digitalized as well. Lastly, we also need to have innovative business models. We need to think of a probably different value proposition, how we can offer our products and services to our customers. That's Industry 4.0. And at the core of it, actually, one of the core capabilities that you need to build if you want to go really into digital is the analytics portion. Data and analytics is core capability. Okay, the technologies of the fourth industrial revolution or Industry 4.0 is run by data. Kaya actually tinatawag din ang data as the new oil because it fuels Industry 4.0. Cloud computing, Internet of Things, additive manufacturing, which is 3D printing, smart sensors, yan. They won't run unless you do data, unless you transform data through analytics. That's why we're here, because we want everyone to build analytics as a core capability so that you can now enjoy digital technologies. So in our various industry, whether it's manufacturing, agriculture, there are a lot of digital technologies that we can adopt. But before we even adopt those digital technologies, we need to build as foundation data and analytics. So that's how we basically build our businesses in Industry 4.0. The last slide is really just an overview, introduction, an invitation for everyone. Well, we are going to work closely now with PCCI for deeper collaboration between PCCI and the Analytics Association of the Philippines. This is just an introduction of what we do. We kind of take care of this analytics and AI ecosystem of the Philippines with the hope of making the entire country data driven. Okay, with that, thank you very much po, and again my apologies for the bandwidth, but I'll be happy to answer questions from everyone after all of the other presentations. Maraming salamat po.
Thank you. Thanks a lot, Sherwin. That was very informative presentation. And certainly when you look at the 5 positions or 5 initiatives that our team together, that we will all be offering in this scholarship program, from a data steward, functional analyst, data engineers, data scientist, and analytics manager. Siguro naman meron ako mapepwestuhan doon. But I'm glad you said
definitely.
That. Yeah, I'm glad you said that. Digitalization and data goes hand in hand. So we can always proceed with digitalization, but the data is there. Make good use and an effective and an efficient way of capitalizing on the data that each and every one of us in our businesses would generate. So I think there will be a lot of questions in the Q&A portion, especially on that 5 positions, and also on the building of businesses. And thank you very much, Sherwin. I'm glad you were able to get back. And now we'll go to our session 2. And I know we're all interested and we're at the edge of our seats. Let us now move on to session 2. For session 2, our ever so innovative partners have provided a video presentation to introduce Project SPARTA and explain its learning pathways. We saw the 5 pathways. Here, the potential learners will know more about the objectives and learning opportunities from the DSA scholarships. But don't worry, we will be joined later in the Q&A session by Project SPARTA representatives to answer your question. May I now request our tech team to flash the AVP. Thank you.
This is a brief overview of the Project Smarter Philippines through Data Analytics R&D, Training and Adoption, or what we commonly know as SPARTA. SPARTA is a 3-year project implemented by the Development Academy of the Philippines, or DAP, in partnership with the Department of Science and Technology, or DOST, the DOST Shared Analytics Association of the Philippines, and Course Bank. The DAP, which is a government-owned and controlled corporation, or GOCC, is mandated to assist the country's development through its research and capacity building initiatives. The DAP intervenes in 3 levels by empowering leaders, strengthening institutions, and building the nation through human capital development, institutional reforms, and policy development. The DAP is now strategically positioning itself to be the government center of excellence for data science and analytics in order for it to continue serving at a greater capacity given its mandates. This is why the Academy is in a perfect position to implement the SPARTA project and capacitate Filipinos in the most sought-after skills in the 4th Industrial Revolution. SPARTA's rationale or framework is composed of 3 components, namely the DSA workforce, ready datasets, and research and development. First, SPARTA aims to capacitate the country's workforce by upskilling and reskilling them through scholarship grant and online data science and analytics pathways and courses. Second, SPARTA intends to foster the sharing of open datasets by partnering with different organizations across the country to contribute readily available datasets that can be used by our scholars in developing innovative R&D projects. And lastly, SPARTA aims to guide scholars in the development of data-driven R&D projects that can help in the development of the Philippines and address its current and future problems. This next slide talks about the 2 SPARTA components: knowledge democratization and activation and engagement. Knowledge democratization's goal is to enable SPARTA's DSA courses to be accessed by the Filipino workforce. These courses are self-paced, so they can be taken at the most convenient time and pace by the scholars. The lead cooperating agency in this component is Course Bank, or MOOCs PH Incorporated. On the other hand, activation and engagement's objective revolves around the creation of an ecosystem that will foster DSA projects through workshops and events. The lead cooperating agency in this component is the Analytics Association of the Philippines. The knowledge democratization has 3 objectives, which are creating online courses, training and graduating learners, and institutionalizing the courses. SPARTA will produce 30 DSA courses. The project has also released a bonus course sponsored by the PCOOFOI Project Management Office entitled FOI 101 Freedom of Information and Introduction. SPARTA courses are spread across 6 pathways. The Data Associate pathway is intended for beginners who don't have prior knowledge or experience in data science and analytics. This is the program's very basic pathway, mainly composed of 6 courses. The Data Steward pathway develops learners' competencies in data governance to equip them with the necessary skills needed to control and improve data quality, oversee data technology and infrastructure, and ensure compliance with rules, regulations, and ethical practice. Data stewards are also known as data privacy officers. data security officers, data governance managers, data curators, and data librarians. The data analyst pathway equips learners with competencies needed to leverage reporting, data analysis, and modeling techniques to solve problems and gather insight across functional domains. The data analyst role is also known as research analyst, HR and marketing analyst, financial and operations analysts in other industries. The analytics manager pathway trains learners to oversee analytical operations, communicate insights to executives, and translate analytical results to actionable business items. Graduates of this pathway learn how to drive business outcomes by bridging technical expertise from steward, engineer, scientists, and analyst pathways with the operational expertise of business functions. Analytics managers are also known as project managers, chief data officers, data science managers, and analytics translators. The data engineer pathway allows scholars to develop skills for the proper management of the data life cycle, from ingestion, processing, surfacing, and storage. Data engineers mainly have a background in IT or computer science. They are also referred to as ETL developers, software engineers, data architects, and data warehousing professionals. The last pathway, which is the data scientist track, trains scholars to apply their expertise in statistics, machine learning, and programming to make predictions and answer key business questions. Data scientists are also known as statisticians, statistical modelers, and advanced analytics professionals in other industries. As shown in the slide, the 10 Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation competencies serve as the foundation of the SPARTA courses and pathways. The first 4 competencies, from domain knowledge and application to data visualization and presentation, are business and organizational skills, while the succeeding 5 competencies are technical skills. The last competency is the 21st century skills, which is a workplace skill needed by the learners to develop a well-rounded and holistic training in data science and analytics. Since this opportunity caters to a wide group of professionals, the project team ensures that qualification for the scholarship grant is simple. Eligible applicants must be a Filipino citizen who are permanently residing or are currently based in the country. They must also be at least a senior high school student who may or may not have prior knowledge or experience in data science and analytics. Now, let us further discuss the project's second component, which is activation and engagement. This is composed of 3 objectives, which are the Smart Governance Portal or SGP, conference and hackathons, and workshops. Events such as conferences, hackathons, and open data challenges are conducted by the team to help local government units and other sectors of society come up with data-driven solutions that will address their problems and optimize their growth. The Smart Governance Portal serves as the central information source of SPARTA. It also houses data sets for research and development initiatives, project monitoring dashboard, and hackathon, an open data registration mechanism. For more information about Project SPARTA, you can reach out to the project team via the following channels. Let us unite in championing a data-driven ecosystem and a smarter future for our country.
Thank you very much. So we saw an overview on the video on the Project Sparta, and again on those 5 different positions. So the qualification is fairly simple: Filipino, and Filipino being here, and also graduate of the K-12. So it's fairly simple, and I hope that would be straightforward. But we can, any questions that you have, we'll answer it in the Q&A after this session 3. So our third and last session will feature a step-by-step guide on the registration and enrollment process for those interested to be SPARTA learners. Our guest speaker will delve into the process of partnership nomination through PCCI. She will also explain how to use Course Bank platform, as well as provide tips and best practices on how to succeed in the course. Let us all welcome Ms. Jacqueline Sangalang. Ms. Jacqueline earned her bachelor's degree in education, major in values education from the Philippines Normal University in 2016. Jacqueline is currently pursuing a master's degree in clinical psychology at the Polytechnic University of the Philippines. Jacqueline is both an educator and the instructional design lead in Course Bank. Jacqueline, the floor is yours.
Thank you for the introduction, Sir Ferdinand. Good afternoon. So before I start, I'll just share my screen with you. All right, and I hope you can see my presentation, and I hope you can hear me well for the orientation.
Yes, Jacqueline, all good. Thank you.
Thank you, Sir Ferdinand. So good afternoon, everyone. It's nice meeting you all here today, and I hope you gained insights from the presentations earlier about DSA and about Project Sparta. So right now, I'll also share with you the application process, so you can already start your e-learning journey with us. And since Project Sparta is entering a partnership with PCCI, one of its initiatives is to provide a scholarship nomination. So there will be 100 scholarship slots provided for PCCI employees, administered member industries, and SMEs. And this scholarship nomination will start once the Project Sparta team provided the endorsement template to PCCI. And then the PCCI will distribute this template to its collaborators. And then the collaborators may endorse as many learners as long as they can monitor the compliance of each endorsed scholar. And this endorsement template contains information of the learners for the sending of the welcome email. This also serves as a helpful tool in providing the progress report of each endorsed scholar. So just to give you a background of the flow of the nomination, the PCCI collaborators will endorse the release of scholars to PCCI, and PCCI will endorse it to the Project Sparta team, and the Project Sparta team will forward it to Course Bank, and Course Bank will send the welcome email to scholars. And this welcome email contains the necessary information for the application process, such as the links and also the step-by-step process of the application. So what are the steps that you need to complete in order for you to be a Spartan? So step 1, you just need to create your Course Bank account. Just go to your go to coursebank.ph and then click sign up, and then the page will direct you to the registration, where you need to complete your details such as your email address, your full name, your public username, your password, and the other details indicated on the page. So for your email address, we highly suggest that to use the same email that you have from the endorsement template, so you can only have one email address for all of your Sparta transactions. All right. And once you have completed the registration, kindly read the terms and services and the owner code of Course Bank. And if you are agreed to these terms of services and conditions, just tick the box provided on the page and then click Create My Course Bank account. Step 2, you need to activate your account. Once you have submitted your registration, an activation link will send will be sent to your registration or registered email. And then you just need to visit your account and then find the email that we have sent to you and then click the link provided on the email. And then you're done creating your course bank account and activation of your account. And then you can already proceed with your application for the scholarship. So, as mentioned earlier, here are the eligibility requirements for the scholarship. You must be a Filipino citizen. You must be permanently residing or currently based in the Philippines. You must be at least a senior high school student with or without prior knowledge on data science. So, to apply for the scholarship, just go back to your course bank account and then click the SPARTA tab and then just scroll down a bit and then click apply now. And then the page will direct you to the registration where you need to complete 5 steps. Step 1, you need to upload your eligibility requirements. Step 2, you need to complete your scholar profile. Step 3, your education profile. Step 4, employment profile. And lastly, your training profile. Step 3, submit documentary requirements. So what are the documents that you can submit for your application? So here are the sample documents that you can submit. A copy or a PDF copy or a photo of your diploma, a valid school ID, certificate of enrollment if you're still a student, certificate of graduation, transcript of records, or your valid PRC ID. And if these documents are not available on your end, kindly email us at learnatcoursbank.ph and then let's discuss the available documents that you can submit for your application. And a gentle reminder for everyone to kindly fill out the application form completely in order for you to avoid pending status or rejection to your application. And then you can already explore the different learning pathways that we have for Project Sparta. Just check out the Sparta page or Course Bank help page. Step 4, apply for learning pathway. So once you have reviewed the different learning pathways, you can already select the pathway you would like to take. Just go to your Sparta profile. So you can check your Sparta profile by clicking the drop-down button beside your username and then click apply for a pathway. And then click the pathway you would like to take and then a prompt will show to confirm your pathway and then you just need to click yes, submit my application. And then there will be a pending status that will reflect on your Sparta profile. And please take note that it usually takes 3 to 5 days to review your application depending on the number of applicants that we have per day. Okay. So after 42 to 78 hours, the enrollment codes will be generated and shown on your Sparta profile. So use these enrollment codes to upgrade your access to verified. So having a verified access allows you to access all course contents. So you won't be able to access the exit assessments under the audit access. Step 5, use codes to upgrade to verified. So once you have enrolled to a certain course, you will see an upgrade to verified tab under the course and then you just need to click that tab and then this will bring you to the cart page where you need to paste your enrollment codes and then click place order. Another prompt will show to inform you that your codes are already added to your basket. You just need to click place order. And then a prompt will show to inform you that you already verified your access. You just need to verify your identity by clicking the blue button provided below the page. And since you need to wait within 48 to 72 hours in order for you to receive the enrollment codes. So while waiting, you can already take the SP101, Getting Grounded on Analytics. This is the foundation and a prerequisite course to all of our Sparta courses. So while waiting for your course, enrollment codes, you can already take this course. And our subject matter expert for this course is no other than Mr. Sherwin Palayo. So just to give you a recap about the step-by-step process, number one, you need to register and create an account at coursebank.ph. Step two, activate your account. Step three, apply for the scholarship and submit proper documentation. Step four, explore and apply for learning pathway. And lastly, use codes to upgrade to verified. So right now, allow me also to share with you some of the frequently asked questions we received from our learners. So how many learning pathways can I apply to? So you can enroll to one learning pathway at a time. So after successful completion of one approved learning pathway, the scholar may apply again for another. Number two, what is the nature of SPARTA MOOCs? Project SPARTA courses are online and self-paced. The courses have pre-recorded video lessons from the subject matter experts. Are Project SPARTA courses free? Yes, Project SPARTA courses are free for Project SPARTA scholars. So the project is fully funded by the Department of Science and Technology and the USDH. Can a college undergraduate apply for a scholarship? How about those who didn't go through senior high school? Yes, college undergrads and those who didn't go through senior high school can apply for a scholarship. You just need to submit your recent POR as a proof of education. Next, how long can I complete a Project SPARTA course? Do the enrollment codes expire? You can complete the courses until November 30, 2022. Before we have guideline that the learners need to finish a certain course within 6 months, but can finish your courses until November 30, 2022 till the end of the project. What is the difference between audit and verified access? Audit access allows you to take the course for free. However, some partners may opt to lock certain parts of the course, like exit assessments. You will not get a certificate under audit access. And meanwhile, verified is a paid access that gives you a full access to the course with a certificate of completion upon passing the course. Will I receive a certificate when I finish a certain course and a learning pathway? You will get a certificate of completion automatically generated from your course bank profile when you finish and pass a project for the course. You will also get a certificate of completion once you have completed and passed a learning pathway or a learning pathway capsule. What is the minimum passing grade to receive my certificate? You need at least a 70% on your individual assignments and at least a 70% on your overall grade. So those are some of the frequently asked questions we receive from the learners. If you have other questions that is not tackled earlier, you can post your question on the comment section, then we'll try to answer them later. So right now, allow me also to share some tips and practices that can help you to succeed in the courses. Number one, be familiar with the platform. So take time to navigate the platform before taking the SPARTA course. It will help you to complete your coursework easily. So we highly suggest to take Course Bank 101. So it will help you to get used to the interface and practice the assessment you might encounter in the SPARTA process. Number two, choose your pathway wisely. So review the different learning pathways thoroughly and decide which among pathways you would like to take. So you may review the learning competencies, what and how many courses you need to complete, and the programs that you need to install. So this can help you choose the pathway that best fits your interests and needs. Next is enroll in one course at a time. So enrolling in your courses one at a time will help you focus on certain competencies and more likely to finish the course early, 1 or 2 courses at a time. Depends on your schedule. Then set your learning goals and schedule. So creating your weekly schedule will help you balance your time for your courses and daily tasks. So just to give you a background, the SPARTA courses usually contain 4 to 7 weeks, and each week is designed to have a 2-hour content length. Next is to create a regular study space. To set up a dedicated learning environment for studying. So by completing your work there repeatedly, you'll begin to establish a routine. Next is to eliminate distractions. So the best online learners know how to lessen these distractions and set aside time to focus. And since our courses are purely online, the learners are more prone to distractions. So to take an effort to eliminate these distractions, and it can help you to finish your courses or your pathway within your schedule or timeline. Next is to engage with the learning community. To collaborate with the other scholars through discussion boards and community page. We have discussion boards per course. You can share some insights there. You can collaborate with your peers, and yeah, you can also ask questions if you have questions about the topics that we have per course. And lastly, enjoy your e-learning journey. So take time to identify your motivations and your end goals. So this can help you continue your e-learning journey. And you may identify your intrinsic motivation, why you would like to learn data science and analytics. This can help you pursue your goal. This can help you to finish your pathway and be a Spartan that can help us to make our country a data-driven nation. So those are some of the tips that I can share with you in order for you to succeed to your courses. So if you are interested to be a Sparta scholar and wants to secure a scholarship through nomination, to signify your interest by accomplishing this form, data generated in the survey will be endorsed to respective agencies or organizations for assessment. So please encourage your members or the personnel under you to accomplish this form to track their interests and on which pathway they want to enroll with. So this will serve as our tracking tool to tell whether your organization has a high interest to be engaged with Sparta courses. So we hope that you can be at one with us in developing data-driven solutions to establish a data literate workforce in the country. So that's the end of my presentation, and see you around and have a great day. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, Jacqueline. You know, there was really a lot of information that you presented. Maraming salamat. Please stay for the next segment of the program, which is the Q&A. For the Q&A portion of our program, we would like to request back Mr. Sherwin Pelayo to join Ms. Jacqueline. And also at this point, we would also be joined by a representative from Project Sparta. Please welcome Mr. Nico Vesperas. Mr. Vesperas has a master's degree in communication, and as the Project Sparta Deputy Project Master, Mr. Vesperas is in charge of its marketing, partnerships, and events components. Let us give him a warm round of applause and joining the Q&A. Okay, let's see if everybody is on the Q&A. Okay, I think we have everybody there. I'm getting a lot of inquiry first to Jacqueline. Jacqueline, there is a lot of information that you downloaded to us. Can we get an email of your presentation so we could provide it to all the participants who've joined us today?
Yes, sir, we can send or we can get a copy of the presentation.
No, good, because that was a lot to swallow, all of that data. But thank you. Thanks a lot, Jacqueline. And to all our participants, thank you. We will be providing you an email. So I have, let me just read the questions that we have on the board. Hi, currently working as a functional analyst, senior marketing analyst, and previously an operations analyst, planning to shift as data scientist. Is it recommended? Because I'm thinking that data scientist will be more challenging for me. Thank you. The floor is open to whoever would like to answer that. Maybe
Sige,
Sherwin,
sir.
you would like to
Yeah, sige, sir Perry.
take a gander on that?
Okay, I think this was a question from Sir Marco, not Trasmano. So Marco is saying that he's already a functional analyst and working actually as a senior marketing analyst. So, and the question is, would we recommend shifting to a data science role? I think, well, for me, I would say, I would probably ask you first, what's your motivation? Remember na lang my message na yung 5 roles in analytics, those are, you can really build career paths in those. You can, be in a senior position. And I believe, Mr. Marco, you're a senior marketing analyst na. So you can build careers there. Depende again on your motivation. I think if you're looking for a challenge, yes, data science would be a challenge for you. So if you are up for a challenge, by all means, do so. Some functional analysts that I know would really want to understand how data scientists generate insights na ginagamit nila as functional analysts in improving their business. So that's another motivation for you to become a data scientist. Kung medyo gusto mong ayoko naman sabihin, kung may trust issues ka, hindi naman ganun. I mean, if you really want to understand how your data scientists generate all of those insights, na usually kasi what happens is your data scientist will hand over to you yung insights na ginawa nila, na generate nila from the data, and they will say, oh, you as a functional analyst, i-translate mo na to into the business term so that your business can actually use the insights that we generate. Okay, if you want to understand how data scientists generate all of those insights from data, then yes, by all means, take the data science path. With Project Sparta, when you look at the pathways din naman, data scientist has the highest number of courses. Jacqueline, ilan na nga ba? 14? More than 14 courses na ba ang data science natin? Ano, wala. So, okay. Basta medyo madami yung data science. The data analyst pathway is shorter, pero may overlap yung dalawa. Okay? So, when we say overlap, pag halimbawa tapos ka na sa isang pathway nito, sa lahat ng mga subjects for a pathway, if you take another pathway after you finish this, lahat ng nakuha mo will be credited to the other pathway. So kukunin mo na lang yung additional, yung delta. So what you could actually do is, take the data analyst pathway, just to kind of make sure that ma-enhance pa yung skills mo as being as a functional analyst, then enroll sa data science pathway after you finish the data analyst pathway. Enroll in the data science pathway, and kukunin mo na lang yung mga additional courses for the data science pathway. So that's an option for you, Marco.
Thank you, Sherwin. Thank you for that answer. I have one here for Nico. Hi, I am one of the challenges for SMEs would be the use of software for visualization, Power BI, Tableau, etc. It is very expensive. Would there be any special rate or subsidy to help SMEs start the data management culture?
Hi, sir. With regard to the content, maybe Sir Sherwin could answer, but I would like to answer this question in actually providing the courses that we offer in Project Sparta. So number one is, if data management is concerned, it depends on your interest. It depends on your profession or your background. Then that's the time that you need to pick maybe one of the relevant pathways relevant to your job or to to your profession right now, then after that, I think so long as the requirements or the software requirements that we have here in Project Sparta, as long as you have your Excel, so long as you have your Excel, so long as you have your internet connection and your laptop, you'll be able to finish all the pathways that we are offering and the courses which are being required. Then I would like to turn over this, I think, to Sir Sherwin to give further details on that. Sir Sherwin.
Sherwin,
This is about
if you can add a little more there from what Nico mentioned.
okay. This is about using Power BI, and Tableau for small medium enterprises. Well, to be honest, mahal nga talaga sila. But and you will also learn this from the courses. Yung choice of technology should really be based on your need and kung anong types of data that you have. For what we've seen for MSMEs is enough na actually yung spreadsheets for us to do data visualization. Kakayanin na yon. Usually for Power BI and Tableau, huge amounts of data na talaga ang visualize using those tools. And then there's actual collaboration with the various employees or team members sa isang kumpanya for you to really choose Power BI or Tableau for your data visualization. So, una munang gawin is assess muna kailangan nyo ba talaga ng ganong tools. Depending on your need, a spreadsheet could be the most powerful tool already for you. Second thing is I know that companies such as Microsoft, they have programs for small businesses, and they give special rates for small business. I believe you Microsoft, they have Pinoy business packages, that you can get may mga longer periods for free trials, and medyo mas mababa yung amounts per user. Pag Power BI kasi, pag Tableau per user yung bayad yan per month. Okay. That's the second one. Go to Microsoft and see yung programs nila for small businesses. And perhaps ito, another one, look into this I'm pretty sure that there are programs with DTI and DICT to support small businesses, and that includes technology subsidies as well. Because of course, DTI and DICT have been working with these tech companies for software as well. So I believe naman PCCI has close relationships with DTI, DICT. So it's something also that you can explore for MSMEs, for small businesses. And I think if there's no wala pang partnerships, I would suggest, Sir Perry, probably partnering with the likes of Microsoft, Google, an MOA between PCCI and mga tech companies could probably result in some subsidies sa mga software nila. And they're very much they're very much willing to do that.
Thank you, Sherwin. In fact, we are working on MO and MOUs with various software companies. I just wanted to add there that aside from DTI and DICT, you should also look into the grants and also support from DOST. DOST has several programs, especially for startups in the MSMEs, which they would like to help. So thank you for your answer there, Sherwin. We have one here. This is probably for Jacqueline. It's two questions from Mr. Makalintal. Hi, it's two questions. Do we still need to pay for the verified access even if scholarship application was approved? Second part of the question is, can we send 3 from the company into the scholarship program?
So for the first question, you can once you have received an approval for your application, you can take all of the courses for free. And for the second question, would it be okay, sir, if I ask to repeat again the second question?
The second question is, can you send more than one or two or three per company into the scholarship program?
Yeah, and I think Sir Nico can raise your
Yeah,
hand.
thank you, Miss Jacqueline. Sir Ferry, with regards to that, DAP commits 300 scholarship slots for PCCI, and it will depend on PCCI on how many slots you are going to give in each company or each member of PCCI. So it will depend on PCCI, sir. But so long as you'll be able to endorse us more scholars, we are okay if we'll reach more than 300, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Nico. In fact, I'd like to reach out again to our area vice presidents, and also our industries who are represented here. We have come up with allocations for each of the industries, as well as also to our area vice presidents, and we do encourage. This is the future. Part of digitalization is being able to use data wisely and efficiently. So for the area vice presidents, which we will be getting in touch with, if you have candidate companies within your membership, within your areas, certainly let's all put it together. And the same with the industries. If they have companies who want to avail of the 300 slot scholarships, let's all put it together, and our team at PCCI will collate and put it all together. So thank you, Nico. One question here from an anonymous attendee. Dangerous ito pag anonymous. In agri-businesses, data gathering is usually difficult because most of it are being captured in the field and recorded manually by the workers. Do you have any suggestions on how to maintain data integrity and reliability in this type of business? And which pathway addresses this? The floor is open to whoever would like to answer that.
Sige po, Sir Perry, I'll answer that question. That was a particular experience that we had dun sa project namin sa Isabela with our yellow corn farmers. Kasi during that time, sorry, medyo matagal-tagal na, 2013, 14 pa yon. Hindi ko alam kung gano'n pa rin na ngayon. Internet connection is really bad pa rin. So, yung infrastructure to collect data from the farm, from the fields, very difficult. So, actually, yung solution namin doon, well, and even at the time, yung mga farmers, wala naman mga smartphones yung mga yan eh. So, the technology that we implemented during the time to gather data is really SMS. Text-based siya, and it worked. Okay. In terms of what you need for data integrity, data reliability, and even for the collection of data, dalawang pathways po yan talaga. The data engineering pathway will help you build the skills that in order for you to collect data from the various sources. Look into all of those kung gagamit po kayo ng SMS-based pa rin na solutions from all of the text messages, the SMS, and put that in a single repository, or what you call a data warehouse. That's a data engineering pathway. But for data integrity, data reliability, quality of data, if you really want to focus on that, that's the role naman po of the data steward. Think of the data steward again as your gatekeepers of data. Tawag namin parang, I mean, if there's a close profession dyan, mga librarian, yan, na parang bago ka makahiram ng libro, kailangan mong i-justify bakit mo kailangan yung libro na yun. Okay? It's the same with data stewards. Okay? Bubusisiin nila kayo bakit nyo kailangan yung data na yun, especially if it's private information. Tapos sila din yung may alam kung halimbawang kulang, paano mo pupunuan, kung may mali, paano mo i-correct yung data. At yun ang role ng data steward. Kaya I mean, if you're really into data integrity, reliability, yung pathway lang po niya is for data stewards.
Thank you, Sherwin. So you're suggesting, because the question was, skewed to the integrity. So data steward. And
Yes.
how long is that typical course, the data stewardship?
A data steward actually is may binigay sa akin ko data steward. So it's 7 courses po.
So it's 7
like,
courses. And how
Yes.
long is that course? How many hours?
If ano to kung tututukan natin talaga, truth be told, kaya matapos in 1 week ang isang course. Kung tututukan talaga,
Okay.
kaya naman yon. Pero what we're saying, if you spend at least an hour every day in a week, kaya mo na yung isang course talaga. I think may mga tumatagal lang kasi there are of course exams, kailangan i-check yung mga exams na yon. There's kind of a period of waiting time for your assessments to be checked. Pero I would say 1 to 2 weeks per course, kaya na yun.
Okay, for all the listeners there and for our partners and our members. So if you really focus, tututukan, so data stewardship, 1 week, or make it 2 weeks. And then after that, they can proceed to the next one, as Sherwin suggested, probably data engineering. And as Jacqueline mentioned earlier, we have until November. We have until November 2022 to take advantage of all these courses and all these learning pathways that PCCI and DAP was able to work and put together. We have a question here from Stevenson Tavera. To be a data scientist needs to be a stat or math graduate. In my undergraduate, I have reached stat 101, math 101, and probably math 150. So is that a prerequisite?
There are career shifters naman po talaga na I mean, they do have background na talaga in math and stat. Probability, theory, combinatorics, I think that's going to be helpful if you've already done that in college. For math, linear algebra, some initial basic calculus, that would also help. Yun,
Okay.
I would say kung okay na kayo doon, I mean, you have a background on that, then that's going to help you with the data science pathway.
Thank you for that answer. We have a question here from one of our members, Mylene Caballero. Question from Mylene. Our company is a member of the PCCI. Can we endorse our employees for the scholarship program who might be interested? If yes, do we need to course through PCCI for the application? That one, I can answer that. Fairly simply, Mylene, yes, you can endorse your employees, and then we will be sending out Jacqueline's presentation, and we can follow that process. So, Mylene, we look forward to the employees of your company in this program. Maraming salamat for that. Another anonymous attendee, for those who were selected as SPARTA scholars through partner institutions, do we need to apply again via Course Bank or SPARTA website?
Okay. Go, Ms. Jack.
So for the application, as I mentioned earlier, if you are part or if you are selected as endorsed scholar, PCCI, and you will receive an email invitation, welcome email, where you need to follow the steps there of the application. And again, you need to follow the steps by creating your course bank account and also the registration in course bank website. And yeah, Sir Nico.
Yeah, just to add, sir, if in case that the person or the employee is already a Sparta scholar and wants to transfer his or her records to PCCI's endorsed scholars, you just need to email us at sparta@dap.edu.ph so that we'll be able to endorse and request to Course Bank to transfer his or her records to the endorsed scholars of PCCI. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for that. Here's a question. Which pathway is most in demand nowadays?
Ayoko yung mga ganyan tanong kasi parang may favoritism tayo dyan. Okay.
Ganun na nga ang lalabasan.
Paano ba sasagutin yan na hindi parang Miss Universe yung dating? Hold on. Hindi talaga Miss Universe yung sagot dyan eh. In Project Sparta kasi the reason why we're promoting all of these pathways is because there's demand for each of them. I guess it's more, I think the question more is nasaan yung pinakamalaking gap between supply and demand na kailangan nating punuin. Kasi if we look at this in terms of what the business would need, ang pinakamarami actually that the business would need would be functional analysts. And then kasi kailangan mo talaga mas maalam sa business eh. You need more data engineers pero only for a certain period of time when you're building your consolidated databases. After mo ma-build yon, hindi mo na kailangan ng ganong karami. Okay. You need one data scientist, one data steward, and yung analytics manager depende if you have analytics projects that are ongoing. Okay? So pinakamarami pa rin talaga in a business, in a company na kailangan talaga are functional analysts. In terms of demand, asan yung gap ngayon? Nasa data steward actually, nasa analytics manager. Hindi ganoon kalaki yung demand, pero sobrang liit din ng supply. So, ang laki nung demand-supply gap. Okay. For data engineers and data scientists, medyo madami pa yung supply. Pero kumbaga madami din yung demand, pero yung in terms of the demand skill gap hindi siya, well, hindi relatively smaller kesa sa gap ng data stewards and analytics manager. Okay. For now lang what I will say is there's low supply for all of those. So if the question is more, may trabaho ba ako mapupuntahan after ma-finish to? Meron naman.
Okay. I think, Sherwin, as you mentioned, any of these 5 learning pathways, there are opportunities in the Philippines because there is a significant shortage in a lot of the companies, not only manufacturing, but also in service companies on the data skills. So regardless of what pathway, there will be opportunities and jobs waiting at the end. So we have a question here. This is a tricky question. I am not from PCCI or other industries, currently employed in a private company. Can I still apply as scholar, and when is the deadline for the applications? You know, I will answer this. If you are a member of you are employed in a private company, this program that we have, PCCI and SPARTA, are between the 2 groups, associations. First, whoever sent this question, I would encourage for your company to be a member of PCCI in a local region or our local chapter. Being a member of PCCI, we have a lot of advantages and can certainly represent your company moving forward in any legislative or regulatory questions that you might have or issues. So becoming a member of PCCI, other than the advantage of getting a scholarship from SPARTA or from the DAP SPARTA PCCI project, there are several advantages of being a member of your local chamber, your local chapter in we have 5 areas, area vice president, North Luzon, Metro Manila, South Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao. So hopefully you can encourage your company to be a member, and then we will gladly accept you as a scholar in this data scholarship together with DAP. And when is the deadline of applications? We will kick off our program in April, and like what was mentioned earlier, we have 300 slots. So we believe the deadline, the 300 will be taken up in April. So medyo I suggest expedite your membership, and then hopefully you can get a slot. So the other question here is also related. Do you accept application from those not connected to your affiliated companies or institutions? Hopefully, ganun rin, you are in a private company. Encourage, if this is an MSME, encourage the owner or the president of the company to be a member in our local chapter, in our local chamber. And we are everywhere in the Philippines. So I believe every nook and cranny in the Philippines, PCCI has a local chapter or a local chamber that can serve you. Thank you. We have a question here. Hang on. Okay. Are there projects or government initiatives that aims to help local Filipino businesses that we can participate so we can practice what we learned from Project SPARTA? I can throw that to Sherwin or Nico. Do you have any experiences on some of your graduates that there are additional government initiatives where they can apply it?
Okay. Hi, sir. I think the experience I had with Project Sparta with one of our scholars, parang one of our scholars before who is already practicing data science and analytics work for the Disaster Risk and Management Office in his local government unit. So with that, with the function or the decision making in that function in his office or in his LGU helped a lot from that initiative or from the DSA initiative of Project Sparta. Furthermore, if the government project is concerned, I was also working before Project Sparta with DICT, and with that, they also do conduct trainings on digital marketing, wherein the MSMEs are being capacitated on website development, on social media marketing, which I think the skills that we are going to learn from Project Sparta, specifically on data science and analytics, could help them a lot in developing their skills on digital marketing, specifically on search engine optimization, and coming up with insights on social media. So I think that's a good combination as well. So if I can remember, the name of the project that I handled before is Digital Jobs of Philippines. But again, we are highly encouraging you to take Project Sparta or data science and analytics courses first, then something that you could also practice for more efficiency and effectiveness of our businesses. Thank you, Sir Barry.
Thank you, Nico. Thank you for that answer. I got one final question before we go to our closing. I know that there's a lot of questions being thrown, but because of time, we need to respect the time of our participants. The last question here. Can I take two courses, two learning pathways at the same time? Functional analysis and analytics manager.
Yes. You cannot enroll or you cannot take two pathways at the same time. So you can only take one learning pathway at a time. And once you have completed your courses and once you have passed the capstone course of that pathway, you can still take another learning pathway.
Thank you, Jacqueline. And there's a follow-up there. After each of the course and successfully passed, do we get certificates?
Yes, sir. Once you have completed one course, you can receive a certain certificate on it. And also, once you have finished your capstone course for your pathway, you will also get a certificate of completion for your pathway.
Thank you, Jacqueline. And again, I would again request our participants, our area vice presidents, our members, and also the industry representatives who are now present in this launching of the SPARTA program. Look at your constituents, look at your members, individual members, down to your local members, local chapters, industry, the companies that form your industries. We do have 300 slots only. Let's take advantage of this gold mine of learning, which is definitely needed moving forward as we all march towards digitalization. Thank you, everyone, for your active participation. Rest assured that all the questions left unanswered, be it in Zoom or Facebook, have been noted and consolidated by our team. As we conclude today's roadshow, let us all welcome and listen to the closing remarks of the Vice President of the Development DAP and SPARTA Project Lead, Dr. Alan Cajes. Dr. Cajes.
Thank you, Vice President Ferrer. I hope you can hear me loud and clear, everyone.
Yes.
Thank you. Allow me to share with you the message of the President of the Development Academy of the Philippines, Attorney Engelbert Caronan Jr. To the Philippine Chamber of Commerce and Industry President, George Barcelon, Analytics Association of the Philippines Executive Director, Sherwin Pelayo, Course Bank Lead, Jacqueline Sangalang, and to all our distinguished guests and attendees from the PCCI, a pleasant afternoon to all of us. Thank you for joining us this afternoon in our online roadshow. 5 months ago, we formalized our partnership through a memorandum of understanding to help foster the growth of our business sector through data science and data analytics. Since then, we have worked together to fulfill this common goal. And I am pleased to say that our event today is a testament to this collaboration. The work towards achieving our common goal is still in progress. As we live in this era of digital transformation and technological advancement brought about by the fourth industrial revolution, we need to deeply realize the importance of keeping up with all the innovations happening around us. We need to be prepared and agile in responding to the challenges and opportunities of our constantly changing world and the uncertainties of our impending future. We need to upskill, reskill, and sharpen our competencies to make the most out of our new digital landscape. We reiterate the significance of seizing this opportunity to be proficient in one of the most in-demand skills of the 21st century. While this roadshow provides us with an introduction to data science and data analytics, there is still so much more to learn in these fields. To our PCCI member companies and our future SPARTA scholars, we encourage you to persevere in completing your SPARTA chosen pathways and courses. As we know, sharpening the saw is one of the habits of highly successful people. Your earned credentials in data science and analytics will definitely contribute in enhancing your professional careers, while at the same time contributing to the growth and development of your respective organizations and communities. The business sector can greatly benefit from data science and data analytics. For business enterprises, you can optimize your operations by developing a deeper understanding of your customers using insights from data. You can track and assess also use data analytics to understand drivers of change to determine your future business scenarios in the same way that we have done this in the Development Academy of the Philippines. Data science and analytics, coupled with your expertise and experience, will surely improve your decision-making and operational performance, which will eventually lead to better products, efficient services, and increased productivity, revenue, and customer value. Again, our most sincere gratitude to the country's largest business organization for making this event successful and for partnering with us in the pursuit of sustainable growth and development for our country's business sector. Let us continue to join hands and take part in helping our country attain a thriving economy and a vibrant analytics ecosystem. Maraming salamat po at mabuhay tayong lahat, mabuhay ang PCCI.
Thank you very much, Dr. Alan. Actually, well said. And please give our regards to Attorney Caronan. The partnership will be a long-term partnership because there are other phases of our relationship. Before we completely go, can we request everybody to turn on their cameras, and we will take a photo of all our participants here, Facebook and other media, as a kickoff for our Project Sparta. I'll ask my colleagues also from PCCI to turn on their cameras. Okay. And now, okay, we'll take a picture. So please smile. Look at that camera. Go ahead.
Count of 3 po. 1, 2, 3, smile. Next slide po.
Okay. Okay na?
Sir, I think that's it na po.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you, our partners from DAP. Maraming salamat to our colleagues at PCCI. Thank you for participating. And I think this is just step one of many on how we can help the Philippines in fulfilling digitalization. Maraming salamat. And in behalf of PCCI, thank you, everyone. Thank you and have a good afternoon. Thank you.
Maraming salamat po.